are the symptoms of a cold war. All of our troubles are make-believe. We're dying on our own soil. Calling your friends onto the teeth. There's nothing for you, nothing for me. Nothing for sale, nothing for free. You wanna take my life and fade away.
Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the stream for Tier 2. Coming to you from the Paul Ricard circuit in France for week 2. A small sort of catch up on round 1, as you'll see the standings going up and down your screen in the background with my voice. We had, should also introduce my co-com as well if he's sticking around. It's SFR Senpai HD. Welcome.
Hola. That's better. I included my audio this time. I've been told to jump in my alpha. Ciao.
Okay. Right, okay. Fair enough. That was a quick cameo. Fair enough.
Have fun.
Fair enough.
See you in a bit. Good luck, have fun, enjoy the stream.
Yep. Well, quick cameo there from the 10-second commentator. Standings after last week, as you can see, running up and down the stream. It was Red Bull who took a very comfortable 1-2 in the race with SFR Montoya winning from SFR Leclerc, who got the fastest lap with Bapidiku in P3. Actually, no, P3. No, he didn't get the fastest lap. It's just a different point system. What am I on about? Still gotta get used to that. Bapidiku was third. Constant Ryan finished fourth for the Williams team, with SFR Senna in P5. Tom Gorian in sixth on each return. So a decent showing from the AlphaTauri driver. 7th for SFR Carbon, who will not be here this week. He will be getting replaced by James 4429. A Jackson finished in 8th. Cool SQ finished in 9th, but he is not here this week. He is being covered over by another driver. We're going to go over to this screen now while we've been looking at that. Introduction. Cube obviously not here this week. SFR Senpai, who we just saw in a brief cameo, is racing, and he's Alfa Romeo. Cal 17F1 finished 10th, even though he had technical issues with the lobby after a while. Adam Lee in 11th, Kirby in 12th, with K 13th. Not the best race for him considering he started P4, with S. Hamilton in P14, and just Jordy finished in P15. And looking at the overall standings in this tier, it's Red Bull who will lead the way on 45 points, followed by Aston Martin. Then it is Williams on 23. Alfa Romeo a little bit further behind, tied for 4th with Alpha Tauri, with Alfa Romeo and Alpha Tauri, same amount of points. Then it is McLaren Mercedes on the same points, 8 points each in 6th and 7th. Ferrari in 8th, 5, Haas with 4 and 9th, and Alpine at the bottom of the tier standings in 10th. So, see who the drivers are supporting. It's looking dry at this moment in time being. Obviously, as explained last week, hopefully we'll have less issues last week than what we did last week. Hopefully their actual race this time. We'll have to cover that. I had some difficulties with connection last week. Hopefully none of that this week. Who's going to be first car out on track? Let's have a look. We'll have to see him, wait and see him actually. See Cal. Cal will be first on track. We'll wait and see who comes out first. I believe it was Jordy in the Alpine. There we go. Finally managed to get to his car. There we go. So, Jordy obviously got the last points position in P15 last week out in Singapore. Not the best race for the Alpine driver. He'll be looking for a little bit of improvements, but he will take us around the first lap of the Paul Ricard circuit in the Q1 session. So while we're going around with the Alpine driver, obviously didn't really get a chance to see the drivers, some drivers in action last week that were not available. And obviously some drivers will be looking to make a little bit more improvement and maybe just stick well with what they did last week. Obviously a couple of new drivers this week that I didn't see last week, the 2 Haas cars, Christo and Demon King, otherwise known as Rich Revs, and Christo himself. Cal will be looking to improve obviously after last week. Obviously I did have some difficulties with the lobby. However, I think that Montoya and Leclerc will be looking to keep hold of their momentum going into this race, and hopefully we don't have any issues. Oh, nice! Thank you very much, Adam Lee, for that interest. 23% chance of rain in the race. So this could make this very interesting. Jordy's come back into the pits again. So was it Jinx next up? I believe it was. So we're going to go forward with SFR Jinx and the Alpha Tauri to set us round the first lap of this Paul Ricard circuit in Q1. So as we head down towards turn 1 with the DRS wide open, coming up towards 200 miles an hour, just passes it as he goes into the braking zone, down to 4th gear, and up to 5th again, heading into turn 2 and turn 3, heading down towards the end of the first sector. So I think he's holding 7th gear, obviously better for turn in. Into 3rd gear, heading into this end of sector 1. Obviously a little bit different to the track that I know this from, which is from ACC. They do not use, it is a straight line through that actual chicane, unlike F1, but hey ho, we're not talking about ACC at the moment. Jordy has retired from the session. I do not know how that is for. I believe that there may have been an issue that happened last week. I'll need to go and look at tickets and see what happened there. But carrying on with SFR Jinx into the 2nd sector. Let's see what the Alpha Tauri driver can do into the 2nd sector. 50.4, obviously the first time will be set by the Alpha Tauri driver. Let's see what the benchmark is he will set. Heading into, obviously using 4th gear for a little bit of extra rotation, then back up to 5th again, heading into here. Very easy to invalidate on certain corners, so you've got to be careful of that aspect of this track. Obviously the wet weather may well play into some hands later on the race. We don't know when that 23% chance of rain is going to fall in the race, so the drivers at the moment will probably have dry setups potentially, although knowing Cody's, the weather could turn at any point. Knowing that, as SFR Jinx takes a going closest to the pit lane, it is a 130.7 for that driver. Here comes the next car to come round, and that will be Demon King, otherwise known as Rich Revs. I'm probably just going to refer to him as Rich Revs. Coming round into the final corner in the Haas car. Obviously did not race last week, so we'll have to see what he can do. It is a 133.3. So he'll be looking to improve on that time. Cal 17 F1 will be next up in the Mercedes. He'll be looking for a little bit of improvement after last week as well. He will probably go faster, yeah, 131.8. For him. James 4429, obviously normally a tier 3 driver, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Obviously in the tier up above, where he would normally race, and it's going to be a 31.8. He's marginally quicker than Cal 17 F1. So he props into second place at this moment in time. So Adam Lee has just started on his lap. So we'll just go round with the Ferrari drivers. Obviously did not have the best race last week out in... thank you Jordy for that clarification about the qualifying ban. I was not aware of that, did not look at tickets last week. I believe that he has invalidated, so we're going to go on to Sempa, who will be next to Zet at time. So obviously, Sempa obviously normally also a tier 3 driver, stepping up to tier 2 as well, obviously to cover for one of his drivers, Cool Ice Cube, who was not available last week. So we'll have to see how he fills in for the shoes of probably his normal tier 2 teammate. Alongside Flying Caveman, who obviously did not have the best of race last week. He did qualify well, but he did not have the best in terms of races. Demon King, I think, has opted to go around for another lap. So we're going to go and see what he can do. I believe he's invalidated, so we're going to go and carry on with SFR Sempa HD, and we're going to go on board for maybe another lap here. See how the Alfa Romeo driver gets on in his first laps turning off this Paul Ricard track. Got to be careful of traffic coming at the pits. Krista does back out of that, and allows Alfa Romeo drivers to take the proper and correct racing line. Heading through in towards the end of the first sector, braking just about the 50-meter board there. And of course he's got Demon King in front, who obviously is going to be also on a lap, so maybe he can use him for a little bit of slipstream off the Haas car. So let's see what he can do. It's a 22.6 first sector. Obviously Sempa, I need to drive a little bit with Sempa. He's a very quick driver, so who knows, he can maybe pull some surprises out the back. We'll have to see how that actually goes for him, and he's just sitting in the slipstream at the moment, but the thing is, you've got to be careful how close you sit in the slipstream, because you do not want to be screwed over by dirty air. In the moment, that's in the moment where he is in that current range. I wonder if he's not going to be that 100% happy about this, potentially. 50.5, middle sector. Demon King's not getting off there. I think he's maybe going to have to back out of this one. I believe that is probably a lap completely ruined, so we're going to go back to Adam Lee. Go back onto this camera right here. And I believe he has indeed slowed up, being stuck right behind the... Oh, Adam Lee! Oh, no, not held. That's unfortunate. I did catch that on stream. Sempa is not going to... I'd say Sempa, going back to that's probably not going to be happy that he was basically caught up behind that, but I suppose if both cars are on laps, then you do not have to let the car behind go. But obviously, tyre strategy around the track like this, obviously, tyre wear is not the highest around Paul Ricard, but it's not exactly a light track either. It's kind of an in-between track, I'd say, in terms of the aspects of that. So let's see coming back to Adam Lee in the Ferrari, let's see what he can do as he heads around the final corner. Looking to obviously make amends for last week, did not have the greatest race last time out in Singapore. Obviously a lot less demanding track that the drivers have to face this time. I think it's going to be a very slow lap from Adam Lee. It's a 36.7, I think he will definitely be looking to improve on that. Let's go back to Christo in the other Haas car, obviously the all-American outfit this year, even though the colours do not suggest that otherwise. It's more like a Russian flag. Let's just say that. Obviously Christo will be looking to make an impression after not being around last week. Yes, I will agree with that one there, Matty. The driver in front there, Rich Rouse, did kind of need to move. I'm not sure. That may well go to tickets afterwards, so I won't comment too much on that, as it's not really my job to do, so I kind of have to be as unbiased as per possible. So, as we're going round at the moment, I know it's early doors, but who is everyone's bets in the chat for getting through potentially? We only have, I think we have 16 drivers, so only one driver I believe will go out in this Q1 session. Who do we believe that one? I think the driver most likely, I think, is maybe going to be James, although he could prove a surprise, as here comes Christo across the line to complete his first timed lap. It's a 32.3. He pops himself into P4. Who was the first of the drivers? I believe it was Rosberg, who we didn't really see a lot of last week, as he joined a little bit later in the session. Leclerc obviously out in lap as well as Montoya. Sempa's come back out in an out lap as well, and then Vapikut as well, who was the closest to taking the fight to the two Red Bulls last time out in Singapore. So here we go with Rosberg down towards turn 1 with the DRS wide open on that Mercedes. 200 miles an hour down to 5th gear. A little bit of a smoother line there from Rosberg in the Mercedes. As he heads through 7th gear, will he hold it or will he go into 8th? He goes into 8th. That's an interesting, you will notice some of the different driving styles that go around here. So we head into here, obviously he's in 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear for a little bit of rotation. Got to be careful of that curve there not to spin. Adam Lee does dive out of the way in the Ferrari. That is much better etiquette there from the Ferrari driver than the Haas driver earlier on in when Sempa was also on a lap. As here is Rosberg heading down towards the Mistral. That's it. That was the one I was thinking of. Mistral straight. Obviously the chicane does separate this on the track in this, unlike the other game. I do know this well from. We're at 50.3. At the moment, the drivers all opting for the soft compound tyres. The mediums will probably come into play in the next session. For the people that believe that they can qualify on the mediums and get themselves into the top 10. Because obviously they want to be using the one stop, I believe, is the mediums onto the hard tyres. I believe that's correct. And the 2 stop around here will be the soft, medium, if I remember this from the last time I raced this. Here comes Rosberg, found the final corner. Let's see what he can do as we head round. Staying very far to the left. An interesting line, that one. 30.5. Rosberg sets the new benchmark. Let's see. Leclerc currently there. Let's see who else is a little bit closer to the line. I believe he's started on a lap as well. Montoya has just started as well. Let's see, Sempa's about halfway down the track, so we'll stay on board with Sempa for this, not stay on board, we'll go on board this view at the moment and see how Sempa is getting on in the Alfa Romeo. Obviously a last minute stand and was supposed to be working with me in the commentary box tonight, but has had to step in obviously for his driver Cool Ice Cube not being available. So, heading into the third sector with Sempa HD in the Alfa Romeo. Let's have a look and see what he can do. See if he can trouble any of the current top 7. I believe at the moment, I think he'll slot on around about P4, P5 at the moment. Looking at the drivers he is probably looking at racing with at this moment in time. Should be, as here comes Sempa across the line. Another driver I would say he's staying across there, Leclerc, P130.5. We did miss that, but it is pole position. It's P4 for Sempa. Good lap there. Montoya coming into the final corner. I believe Tom Gorin was a bit further back, so we're going to go back to SFR Montoya. In the other Red Bull, let's see what he can do. Can he steal pole position from his teammate? Yes, he can. It's a 130.019. It's going to be interesting to see how Red Bull's tactics go down if these two come to a championship deciding fight at the end of the season, as it could be a little bit interesting. So you have to go down that way to do it. Tom Goring went back into the pit, so I believe he invalidated. Senna has also invalidated. Or Cam, as everyone also knows him by. Let's see, is Sempa going to go for another lap, or has he decided to back off? I believe he's not on full reps. He is not. Vapid Coot, actually, I didn't actually clock that, but Vapid Coot managed to get a 130.017, 2 thousandths of a second quicker than the Red Bull driver of SFR Montoya. So, a little bit of competition there. Let's see, I believe that was Caveman? He's invalidated, so no. Demon King, or Rich Revs. Maybe, well, let's just gloss over that for the moment and go back to the Haas driver and see how he gets on. Obviously the slowest of the runners at this moment in time. Senna has carried on, Adam Lee has retired in P7. He believes he is safe. He's done 3 laps on his set of the soft compound tyres. Rich Revs has invalidated, so we're going to have to come back to him. So we're going to go back to SFR Senna in the other Aston Martin alongside Vapid Coot and see how he's getting on. See some of the lines he's taking into these corners as far Leclerc is retired. I believe the moment he's currently in the drop zone, but at the moment it's Flying Caveman Jordy. Obviously, I believe will be the only car to go out of this session, as he will have a quali ban starting from P16. So unless some other driver does not improve, it's a 50.1 from SFR Senna. It's a purple middle sector, so the top 7 have all finished. That is enough laps from them in this first qualifying session, and we'll have to see how Senna can actually trouble any of that top 7. I believe he should be able to get into the 130s. I believe he's quick enough to do so. Let's see, heading towards the final 2 corners, into the penultimate and into the final Important to get a good exit coming out of here. Clip a little bit of that curb and then a bit of the outside curb as well, but not run too wide that you get invalidation. Here we go down towards the line. Senna staying all the way to the right. 30.1 there. Only about a tenth off of the best time there. We're going to go to Constant Ryan in the Williams, who's on a lap. He's a 49.8 purple middle sector. I'm not sure how much to believe these purple middle sectors at points due to that one. The nature of sometimes the purple sectors can be a little bit of a lie. Hopefully though, it's actually Cody's actually been truthful for once with these, and Cody and Constant Ryan is actually that quick. I mean, I believe he's actually that quick. He was in Tier 1 last season. Obviously we have some alien pace drivers in Tier 1 this year, and obviously that's why he's been demoted down to Tier 2. Well, I would say demoted, it's a bit unfair really, actually, a bit lower to be honest, as he's coming through the final corner. He's still fairly quick, so still someone to look out for. 29.8, just as he proves that to me. It's a 2/10 gap that he's now created. So now it's up to Tom Gorian to now move himself out of that last spot at this moment in time, and hopefully not get an invalidation with about 2 minutes 10 left of this session. 0449 has managed to come in. Moshis has joined as well, so I'm hoping this doesn't mess with the lobby. I think there's not any space for him. Wish people wouldn't do that and they'd join during the actual session. That would be nice. Gordon's heading round down the Mistral Straight with the chicane in the middle to cut, which cuts in between. I think honestly kind of ruins the flow a little bit. I wouldn't mind if that was. Obviously sometimes when the track came out, obviously it was a little bit confusing with all the different lines that could be taken, obviously being used as a testing track a lot of the time. I believe that tracks like this tend to have a lot of runoff. Modern tracks tend to have a lot of runoff area, and this is kind of a real good example of a track with a lot of runoff area. It can do a lot to kind of make sure that if you have any kind of incidences, I mean it does help having runoff areas that you don't have a huge accident into a barrier, but I do feel that it kind of makes the racing a little bit too safe at points. As Tom Gordon is coming around to finish his final lap, James has backed off, realising he's probably safe. Here comes Tom Gorian. Who is this? Can you please leave the session? Because you're not driving in this session. Thank you very much. Tom Gorian goes P10, and I believe that will be the last of the laps to be done, and unless Damon King is coming, I believe coming down a lap. No, he's coming back into the pits. So I believe, for the most part, unless anyone else is out on a lap, I believe that is it. Caveman has invalidated. Constant Ryan probably won't be going again for our lap, and I believe the only driver to go out in Q1 will be Geordie with that qualifying ban, but not the worst track to have a qualifying ban on, I'd say. Hopefully he can move himself up the grid and maybe get the Driver of the Day award, which maybe is what he's going for. Thank you very much, a random person, for leaving the session. Yeah, Flying Caveman is going again though, so hopefully Cal has retired. Obviously now it is just Constant Ryan and Caveman out on track. Constant Ryan is going again, and he is up on his time. Obviously won't be using these softs again for the rest of the full qualifying session. Yeah, much as Alpine. Yeah, I don't know why. My brain kind of decided to completely give up for a second. So it will be two drivers at the back of the grid for Alpine with Geordie and Mochis. Obviously, I don't think I actually had a chance of seeing Mochis race last week, so be another new driver to actually see how he gets on with these racing. Constant Ryan will be looking for a little bit of improvement. He was 2/10 up, so let's see what he can do coming across the line. Will it be any quicker? Yes, 29.6. And that is another benchmark laid down, and obviously other drivers will be looking at that lap time now thinking, where can I now find some more time to maybe try and compete with the Williams driver there. Obviously Constant Ryan didn't really see much of him racing last week because obviously having issues last week with the Wi-Fi, that sort of thing, and Caveman has run out of fuel. And Mochis has left the session again, so we'll have to see if we can get him back into the session. I believe I had everyone added. Let's see if I can find him. Just waiting to go through that. I can't find him. We're going to have to go recently played to find it. See if I can find him. There we are. There we go. Right. It is Constant Ryan who is top of Q1 in the Williams car by 0.3 of a second from Vapid Kut in the Aston Martin. SFR Montoya is P3 with SFR P4 in the other Aston Martin. Flying P5 in the first of the two Alfa Romeos for Leclerc in the second of the Red Bulls. Rosberg in 7th in the first of the Mercedes. SFR Jinx in the Alpha Tauri, the first of the Alpha Tauris. SFR Sempa in P9 in the second of the Alfa Romeos. Gorian in P10 in the Alpha Tauri with Sempa stuck in between the two Alpha Tauris. Ferrari in first of the Ferraris in 11th with Adam Lee. James 429, actually not too bad. Very respectable showing in Q1. We'll have to see how he gets on in Q2 in the Williams. Obviously standing in for, I believe it is Carbon that is not racing this week. So we'll have to see, it's either Carbon or Finn. What? No, it's not Finn's. Finn's is tier 1, so it is Carbon in tier 2. Cal in 13th in the other Mercedes. Crystal in 15th for King, the two Hasses in 14th and 15th. Obviously they'll be looking for a little bit of improvement, and Jordy is in P16, the Wolney car out of Q1. Wondering why we have a little bit of a delay. Has someone not thingied up? There we go. Thank you very much, whoever that was. Q2, ooh, it does look a little bit darker than what it was before. Definitely seems like it was a little bit later in Q1. So, could we have any sort of changes in the weather in here, or was it a completely dry qualifying? It would be interesting to know if somebody has that information from the drivers. Interesting to know. Let's see, I believe, was it that? Yes, it was. Jinx first one out again. So. SFR Jinx obviously didn't really have entirely the best race last time out in Singapore. I believe, I don't actually see if he was actually, yes, he was in 20th. I believe he did not race last week. I'm not entirely sure though. It is mediums though for the first run for the Alpha Tauri driver. So now we're going to see the strategy come into play. Obviously the Q2 tyre being this tyre that you start the race on. We'll have to see how many drivers go for the mediums that believe they can do it, and the drivers that we definitely know will go for the softs that believe they will be a little bit slower and we're on the bottom half of Q1. How many of them will use the soft tyres to try and maybe put a cat in amongst the pigeons, to say, in terms of strategy. But I'd say you can do a one stop on the softs, but the tyre wear will be a lot higher on the tyres at the end of the race, should you choose to do that. It does definitely look like it's got darker since Q1. Although maybe it's just been overcast in Q1 and it maybe looked a little brighter. I mean, those guys very much look like, well, it does look like IRL outside for me at this moment in time. Maybe not at this moment in time, but earlier in the day. Here goes SFR Jinx for the first lap of Q2. Into turn 1. Let's get some standings up here. Why are these not when it does that? Heading in through, obviously, cars in front and out laps need to make sure they do not get in the way of drivers who are on laps at this moment. Good job there from SFR Sempa HD to get out of the way of the Alpha Tauri driver. Into the end of the first sector will obviously be the one to set the benchmark time once again. It'll be interesting to see what the fastest medium compound tyre time will be, and how many laps they intend to do on the medium compound tyres. As you don't want to do too many laps on your starting tyres, as you will incur much more wear on the start. But be careful, especially when taking that much of the curb there, especially not to get invalidations. Can be very easy to do so. A track like this, I mean, you can get some very, very innocuous warnings for a lot of this stuff. I mean, I can see 50.9, I believe that was, in the middle sector for SFR Jinx. I'm believing that some of the drivers may get into the mid 49s in that sector, maybe maybe high 48s. And obviously, track evolution will be a thing. As we go through the sessions, the times will start to tumble. Depending on that, obviously times will be a little bit slower for some drivers in Q2 if they opt to use the medium compound tyres, as we will have SFR Jinx come through to complete his first lap on the medium compound tyres. Let's see what the Alpha Tauri driver can do across the line. Opts to stay in the middle of the track. Interesting to see the lines. Senob's taking the lap far left. It's a 131.6. I believe the next driver across the line was either Demon King. He hasn't validated, so I believe it will be Cal in the in the Mercedes car. Kirby in the chat. The team principal of Haas, the Gunther Steiner, if you wish, saying go on Haas. Your drivers can get themselves into Q3 as Cal 130.9. It is on the soft compound tyres though, so I would expect that time to be beaten, as here comes his teammate in the on the soft compound tyres, SFR Rosberg. I believe that was a slow lap, maybe to get his eye in. Let's see, Sempa is currently in the middle sector. Whereabouts is James 4429? He's coming just across the line, so we're going to see how James gets on in the Williams. Coming across the line, could be, as I say, a dark horse in all this. It's a 32.7. He goes P4. He does manage to beat Adam Lee, but I believe Adam Lee did not exactly get his best lap in, so we're going to go back to SFR Sempa HD in the middle sector. Just coming through into the final sector. A nice flowing track, I'd say this. It's not just for this, but for stuff like ACC, that sort of thing. It is very much a very flowing track, if a little bit dubious in some of the warnings you do get for corner cutting around here. Just a sec. Here comes Sempa round the final corner. Let's see what he can do. Coming across the line. All part of our plan from TJH, starting both these cars at the back of the grid. I don't believe that was probably the case, but we'll run with that. Sempa goes P4, 42.4 again. Nice lap time. So Adam Lee goes P2, but that's 2 laps he's had to do on those tyres. Going to go on board, going to SFR Senna next at the Alpha Aston Martin. A lot of A's, sometimes at Woking, let's just be honest. Let's see how he gets on. Obviously, Q2 this session, the cars to go out will be 11th down to 15th, and then we will have the shootout for the top 10 positions and for pole position. Looking at this at the moment, obviously we can't really read too much in this. Obviously we'll get more insight into who the quickest drivers will be in the next session, due to the nature of how the track will actually work out in terms of the grip and obviously pace of certain drivers. Obviously people not showing the maximum pace at the moment, obviously using the medium compound tyres. Senna trying to get the shortest line, so that if you Senna believing that's the closest run to the final corner. 30.7. 2 tenths quicker than Cal. Cal and Caveman currently the 2 in there on the soft compound tyres on the flat. So Flying Caveman, Cal and Jinx. At the moment Jinx is suspecting the soft compound tyres. He was on the mediums. Here's Crystal. Let's see how he's getting on. Going on an onboard shot of the Haas car. A little bit off screen time. A little bit wide there from Crystal. But didn't lose too much time, I believe. Here he comes into the final corner. Interesting to see the gearing choices for this. Most people opting for second gear, I tend to find. The easiest way of getting some good turning for this corner. So here comes Crystal across the line. 33.5. Not the best lap time there for him. Obviously he will be looking to improve. Let's see how far in the clear is. Obviously there's maybe a little bit going in there between the 2 Red Bulls, a little bit of slipstream. He's in a lap as well. Vapid is about to start a lap, so we'll go on board with the other Aston Martin driver who looked very quick in Q1. So let's see what he can do in the medium compound tyres in Q2. Obviously one of the drivers I think we will be looking at to be in the top 5. SFR Hamilton in the chat as well, cheering on his team. Let's go Cal. Obviously Cal looking to have a little bit of redemption arc after last week. Obviously did not manage to get to the end of the race due to, well, didn't get there. He did actually finish 10th, but obviously had some issues with connection in the game due to I think the server was, the lobby was a little bit off. I'm not really surprised over Cody's, let's be honest. Try not to make this too much position about bashing Cody's for their servers, but occasionally I can't help it. See who comes out on top. It'd be interesting to know, for Q3, who do we reckon, chat, is going to actually get pole position? I'd like to get your thoughts from that, just to be curious, see what people are thinking. Come back to that in a little bit. Here comes Rapid Cook coming around the final sector. Let's see what the Aston Martin driver can do heading around the final corner. Nice flowing run. You do not want to run too wide there. You can lose time. Here we go around the final corner. Does choose the wide line, not clipping the inside, but clipping the outside. The two Aston Martin drivers using that same line. That's very curious, but it does work. It is a 1-2 at the moment. I wonder if Leclerc and Montoya will have something to say on that. With obviously Demon King in between those two, obviously on the softs. He's obviously invalidated on his first again. He's having a little bit of trouble with the track limits there in Demon King, which revs. See if Leclerc can improve. What's the time going to be? It is a purple middle sector for the Red Bull driver. Heading through, obviously Montoya as well, getting that sort of maybe distance slipstream off of Demon King in the Haas car. Just being a little bit cheeky there and obviously being able to use that and gain every little bit of time you can gain, but maybe not. I think he's dropped off the back a little bit of there as Cal's coming back out in a set of softs. I was believing that he will not have the pace to qualify on the medium compound tyres. So let's see what Leclerc can do. What can Leclerc do coming out of the final two corners in the Red Bull? The first of the two Red Bulls to come across to set a time in this Q2 session. Here we go across the line for Leclerc. 1:31.0, not his P3. And Montoya just beats him and goes into P4. Demon King does manage to post the time, which puts himself P10, but at the moment he's had to do that on 2-lap old soft compound tyres. We go to Constant Ryan now. Let's see what he can do in the Williams. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the man who topped Q1. Well, the Q1's not really the most representative of the lap times, as a lot of the drivers around him did retire quite early on. Obviously, choosing maybe to only do maybe 1, maybe 2 laps on the soft compound tyres at most. Obviously, knowing you weren't going to have to use them again in Q2. As that was not the tyre you would start on, but obviously this being the most important of the 3 sessions, as the Q3 session, you can just burn through soft compound tyres, as those will not be used nearly as much. So here comes Constant Ryan. Obviously his teammate at the moment, James 4429, is in 11th. Not doing too bad, considering being normally a tier 3 driver for William, and I believe is he either reserve or a tier 3 Williams driver. One of the two. Someone can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Those facts. Constant Ryan coming through into the 3rd sector. Let's see how this gets on. Obviously, not the longest race distance around here. It's only 27 laps. Lap time distance at the moment, obviously, we'll see in the race when it actually comes to it. But it's all about being consistent on a track like this, I'd say. Obviously not picking up penalties as such, any sort of thing like that. Let's see how Constant Ryan gets on as he comes round the final corner. He's blasting his way down his Williams with what there is wide open down towards the straight. 30.5 on the soft compound tyres. So we're going to go to Cal 17 F1. He's 2 tenths up at this moment in time. Let's go on board with the the Mercedes driver. Got a bit confused there. How I got confused there. As here goes Cal into the final, the 2nd sector. Will he be quicker? He is up by 3 tenths on his personal best at this moment in time. That would set him just above SFR Senna at this moment in time. In 3rd place, but obviously Senna may well not bother to do another lap, considering he's probably safe at this point. Flying Caveman 10th has opted for a set of the mediums for his next run, his final run. And Demon King in 3rd, I don't know if he's going to do a jinx, has decided to retire on that. I believe he is actually on medium compound tyres. Yes, he is. Let's see what can be done here from Cal 17 F1 in the Q2 session. Let's see if Cal can improve and get himself up a position. Nope, he stays where he is. Lost a little bit of time heading into that final, almost lost time in the final sector. Here comes, I think James is actually invalidated, so he's going to have to go again. Tom Gorian, let's see what Tom Gorian can do. And the other Alpha Tauri, his teammate obviously up in 8th place at the moment on the medium compound tyres, and his teammate looking to join him in Tom Gorian in top 10. the moment in the drop zone, it is currently Demon King, James, Christo, Rosberg, who obviously did not really set a representative lap time, and Tom Gorian at the moment, who we are currently on board with at is Constant Ryan done, so only Cal is there, but I don't believe Cal will go for another lap. I believe that will probably be it from Cal. He's the only person in the top 10 at the moment, apart from Caveman, who's currently on the soft compound tyres. So he's going to be an interesting one to look out for in Q3 if he can set a decent lap time. Let's see what Tom Gorian can do. Only it's a P9 for Tom Gorian. Took a little bit of time to update there. Let's see, I think he is still on an invalid lap. Let's see, Rosberg is there. Where is Christo? Christo's about the same place, so we're going to go on board with Christo. Or not Christo, Rosberg. Rosberg's a bit further up, so we're going to go on board with the Mercedes driver on the medium compound tyres. Obviously doing a little bit of, maybe not a sandbagging lap, but maybe not a full power lap on the soft compound tyres. Maybe on a set of used soft tyres to do that. Probably the likely thing. I mean, that's probably what I would do if I was racing on this track. It's the kind of a thing where you don't really want to use the soft compound tyres all too much if you can. Is it actually... It's the saving ERS as it comes through to start. 30 seconds left in Q2 with Christo. At the moment, the driver's looking to get out of Q2. It will be Sempa, Demon King, who currently are in the pits. I believe those two may not have any more time, so Sempa and Demon King are definitely out of this one. Maybe for strategic purposes. It's just James, Christo, and Rosberg to improve. Let's see what Rosberg can do coming around into the first sector. He's got to get a 1 minute 31.655 to beat to get himself into Q2. He's 1.5 seconds up on his best time, which does suggest to me that that was definitely a not very fast power lap.
Saturday, Sunday, what?
All the words kind of just melted together. I'm not entirely sure. Hello, thank you very much for the follow there, TXT Mania. Just caught that in the end there. Thank you very much, Flo. Welcome to the SFR channel. Enjoy your stay, and whatever you're into, whatever you're up to, whatever. We have ACC and F1 and F2, so feel free to go and see what you're interested in on the Discord page. Should it be somewhere? It's !Discord if you need that. Here comes Rosberg coming through into the final sequence of corners. I believe he will be setting a fairly decent time here as we come through towards the end of the third sector. Wilsey very impressed, very happy with Vappen and Cam at the moment. Yeah, your two drivers are looking very good, second and third at this moment in time in the Q2 session. Here comes Rosberg though into the final corner. Let's see what he can do coming across the line. It is going to be a 1:31. It's only P10. Ooh, that could be an interesting one. Let's see if Christo can improve. Christo is the only driver who can knock Rosberg out. Jinx is out of Q2 by 2/10. Where can Christo put his Haas car? With team principal Kirby watching in the background. Let's see what he can do. I don't know what that was. We'll have to see when I get across the line. He will be the last one to cross the line, and I believe he may have got himself in. No, he did not. He got himself into P12. So, Q2, it sees Constant Ryan once again top the session. Look very, very imperious for the Williams team. With Vapid Coot in the first of the two Aston Martins, in second place with Senna in 3 and the other Aston Martin. Cal in 4th, the only person in soft, so he's going to be one to look out for. On Mercedes with Montoya in P5. Caveman in P6, didn't manage to get a decent time on the medium compound tyres with a Claire in P6. He will be a little bit disappointed, but we'll need to his head down for Q3. Adam Lee, Tom Gorian, Rosberg out is Christo, Sempa, Demon and James. James, not too bad a performance considering all things. So P15 start for him. Didn't manage to get himself out of Q1 at least. Yeah, it's nice. Mafia. Yes, very much for, as I say, Mafia. Thank you very much for the follow. As I say, for all that. Yep, just seeing how Flying Caveman is doing. Yep, he's into Q3. So, your driver currently at the moment is there. Yep. Into Q3, let's see what the drivers can do. I believe it won't be Jinx that'll be first out this time. Obviously he was out. Let's see what the car is. Was it Caveman's just gone out. I don't believe he was the first car on track though. I believe it was Senna who was the first one out on track in the Aston Martin, with obviously with Wolsey looking on in the from the side from the sidelines and seeing how his driver is getting on. Obviously, Senna or Cam was in the Tier 1 grid last year, was a very quick driver, but sometimes looked a little bit inconsistent. So hopefully he can do better this season, and we will go on board for the first lap in this Q3 session with the Aston Martin driver. Has been jinxed in the first 2 sessions, so let's see how the SFR Senna tackles this Paul Ricard circuit. Taking a drink of water. Always make sure to stay hydrated, as sometimes races can get very sweaty. Very useful to know. See that? Also make sure you're not dry either for long periods of time, because all about kind of measuring out your voice earlier on and make sure you keep enough down for later on. Hopefully, as I say, all smooth running so far. Let's see how Senna gets on as we go round into the final corner. Make sure to get a good exit, sort of a wider exit as you take it for this first lap. A little bit more the curb than he normally would take there, I'd say. As here comes Senna down towards turn 1 with the DRS wide open into 8th gear. Heading down towards turn 1, touching 200 miles an hour, down to 5th gear. Stays in 5th gear through that corner into 7th, and I think he does tend to hold it in 7th gear. Yes, he does, for a little bit of better rotation into this next corner. Into here, obviously maybe using 2nd gear for a little bit of better rotation there. Does want a little bit wide, but that does work well, that slightly wider line, you're not too tight. Into the next sequence of corners. Heading through, don't want to run too wide there. Obviously Montoya getting out of the way, making sure he does not give a slip to the Aston Martin driver and see if it doesn't gain him any more time. Not want any advantage being given there to a rival team out there, so obviously is in 2nd place at this moment in time. A lot of the clumping over the curb there for Senna. Can get away with that particular corner, not in some corners, but you can get away with that on others. 49.7. The times are starting to tumble now in terms of the fastest laps you can do. This will be the session that defers the grid, well, the front half of the grid down towards the top 10. Interesting to see how Cal gets on as well, just because of the fact he's got into Q3 on the soft. So let's see how he fares up in the race due to the nature of him starting in the soft compound tyres. It'll be interesting to see, but you're going back to Senna. Let's see how he gets on. Found the final corner, clipping a lot of that curb, a lot more than previous. Did get a little bit of wheel spin coming off that final corner. Does once again stay all the way to the left hand side. The benchmark time is a 29.7. I believe the next car to actually follow was maybe Cal. No, it wasn't Cal, I don't believe. I believe it was Caveman. So, first the 2 Red Bulls, I believe it is Leclerc, 130.1. I think Montoya will follow. Montoya is actually on an outlap, so we'll go back to someone else. Adam Lee next up in the Ferrari. Let's see how he gets on. I believe that is a bit of a slow lap there for Adam Lee, so he will be looking to improve. He's on a lap already. Here comes Vapicut coming around the final corner, blasting down towards the final straight. Let's see what he can do. It is a 29.8, only 1/10 off. The time's looking very close at this moment in time. Here comes Cal in the Mercedes. Let's see what he can do. 30.8, not too bad. Put some P5 at this moment in time. Where is Rosberg? Rosberg has invalidated on his first run, so we're not going to be on board with them. Tom Gorin has also invalidated. Let's go to Constant Ryan, the man who's been top both of the first 2 sessions. Let's see if he can set the initial lap time and take the pole position at the moment away from SFR Senna. Yes, he can. 129.3. That is a benchmark and a half to beat there. We'll have to see how that goes on with that, and let's see what's going board with Montoya. Can Montoya match that pole position lap time at the moment from Constant Ryan? 29.371. Nearly 6-7 tenths quicker than Senna in the Aston Martin. That's a very imperious lap time there for the Williams driver, saying, yeah, I'm here. You're going to have to chase me for it if you want this pole position. As here comes Montoya around the final sequence of corners into the final corner. And here we go. What can the Red Bull driver do? Obviously, it was very high up in the first 2 sessions. Let's see what he can do. 29.9. Only P4 for him. will be looking to improve on that. I feel he'll be a little bit disappointed. Tom Gordon has ended up invalidating on a second lap, so we'll not be able to see exactly what that lap time would have been. He's proving it is very difficult to actually not invalidate on certain laps. Let's just see. At the moment, we have a little bit of a lull at this moment in time. So, just as we wait for the drivers to go back in, obviously the drivers will probably wait until about the 2-3 minute mark to head back out. Obviously, later on they go out, obviously the car takes control later on, and obviously you don't want to have people sitting, sometimes if people sit a long time in the garage at the end of the session, at the end of the Q3 session, you end up with a lot more tyre wear on your tyres, and it's not something you really want. I think it's more of a thing in Q2 more than Q3, as Tom Gordon has backed off into the pit lane. Montoya will be coming back in. Yep, he will be coming back in. He's currently not actually pushing, so the Red Bull driver will probably be coming back in. So, as I say, once again, coming back to the chat, who do we reckon is getting the pole position lap time here? Constant Ryan looks like a very good shout at this moment in time. Senna, if he can find a little bit more time in hand, he can maybe put himself up into that position at the top. I believe that Adam Lee is coming out first, so we're going to go back to the Ferrari. He will be the first one to go again. Obviously did not manage to get a good lap time, obviously wanted to just get a good lap time on the board. Let's just see. Adam Lee is out on his lap at this moment in time. Obviously wanting to get a lap out early is the Ferrari driver. Will be interesting to see how, obviously he'll be a little bit out of sync with some of the other people doing laps at this moment in time. Obviously doing a bit of a slower out lap, obviously does not want to put too much wear onto his soft compound tyres at this moment in time. Obviously want to get the best amount of grip that you can get. Obviously looking at this particular section of the track can be sometimes a little bit difficult. As I say, when this first released, it obviously was a little bit of a difficult one to try and figure out exactly which layouts were for which particular sort of discipline. And I think it caught a lot of people out off guard to begin with, as Cal will also be out on a lap in the Mercedes coming out quite early. Also, he will be the next car we go on board with after Adam Lee. He is quite far back at the moment in terms of on track. It's just those two on track at this moment in time. I believe that everyone else is waiting a little bit longer, and it will be interesting to see how everything goes, because obviously Constant Ryan will be looking to beat that 129.3 and cement his pole position time in Q3, and obviously top all three sessions, which is a very much, I'd say Constant Ryan I didn't really see much of Constant Ryan in round one. Maybe he didn't like Singapore all that much. Maybe France is more of a track he enjoys. But anyways, enough about that. Let's go on board with Adam Lee and let's see what he can do. Down towards turn one. The drivers all kind of hitting about the same amount in terms of the top speeds going down towards turn one. It's about 200 miles an hour, maybe just over. About the 50 meter mark for Adam Lee. Heading into the next sequence of corners into the end of the first sector. He's up massively in his time. I am not really surprised, considering that lap time was not really a competitive lap time from the Ferrari driver, as you expect him to be a little bit quicker than that. And let's just say that Adam Lee will be looking for a little bit of redemption. Obviously did not have the best of races, but he kind of finished a bit. He finished quite low down in Singapore, but obviously Singapore being much more of a demanding track than this one. It's kind of a lot more flowing, this one, and a lot more forgiving, let's just say that. While it's not quite so close, it is a purple middle sector for Adam Lee. Obviously track is going to a lot of track evolution is going to take effect about now. And I wonder how many of the drivers, obviously you get an extra set of tyres if you get into the Q3 session, which means that you've got an extra set to use, and that may well be what all the drivers may well have for soft compound tyres to use, unless you got into Q3 on the mediums. In which case, I think a few of the drivers may well have two sets that they could use in this session. As here comes Adam Lee around the final corner. Let's see what he can do. Heading down towards, using the middle of the track once again. Third place, 29.8. Slots himself into P3. Let's go on board with Cal. Let's go to the outward shot with Cal and let's see how he gets on in the Mercedes. Track is about to get very, very busy with what is the final runs. Carbon cheering on his teammate Constant Ryan. Unfortunately, you couldn't be here this week, Carbon. We'll look forward to see you next week. Obviously, for a little bit of redemption and obviously did not really get to see how you raced. So from my particular perspective, so it will be interesting to see how you actually get on next week when you return. As here comes Cal across the line. What is it going to be? A 31.4. Not a bad lap there from Cal. He's slower though, it's a 130 slower than his first run. Let's see what Tom Gordon can do. He has invalidated once again. So we're going to go to Flying Cayman. I believe he was next up. Yes, I believe he was. So we're going to go to the Alfa. Stay on board with the Alfa Romeo driver. And hopefully see what he can do. He's doing a lot better than last week. He did have a little bit of problems with invalidating. He's a 10th down in the middle sector at the moment, Flying Cayman, who will be looking to improve on that to P6. Did manage to qualify P4. Did not have the best of races though in Singapore, from the little bit I see before internet decided otherwise. Let's just see if he can carry words. Let's see if he can actually remove that 1/10 deficit and actually improve on his time. Very wide line heading into here. Adam Lee has retired. That is his day done. 29.8. The third is the highest he will get. Flying Caveman does not improve on his time, so he will stay P6. I believe Tom Green is still an invalid lap. Let's see if I can find one of the other drivers. Let's see if I'm finding Constant Ryan. Constant Ryan's currently down in his time. Senna has invalidated. That's an unfortunate one as the timer has now ran out. So we're going to go to Vapid Koot in the Aston Martin, the Scottish driver. Let's see what he can do. Coming into the third sector, it's going to be, obviously, it's looked very good. It's a little bit of a disappointment though for, second at the moment for Senna. What am I saying that for? As here comes Vapid Koot into the final corner. Can he get his car onto the front row? Or it will it be a second row start for Vapid Koot as he comes up to the line? Let's see. Second place. He jumps his teammate off. He takes his teammate off of the front row. Let's see if SFR Montoya, he's a 10th up on his best time. Let's see if is SFR Leclerc further up. I believe he's about to come round the final corner. Constant Ryan, a 29.2 from Constant Ryan. Did not see that, but that is a benchmark set. That 2/10s quicker. There's Leclerc across the line. Montoya is going to be one of the final cars to cross the line. He's a 10th, still got that 10th in hand. Let's see if Montoya can get himself into the second row perhaps. He does. So it is going to be Constant Ryan on pole position. And I believe that Flying Caveman will not be going any quicker. Nope, he has, I believe, ran out of fuel. And that will be that for this qualifying session. Yeah, Willsy, I agree. This tier is stacked. I mean, it's a lot like the tier. The tier one is stacked as well with some very, very good competition. Let's just see then. Constant Ryan makes it all 3 sessions on top. Vapid Koot P2, 2/10 back, and it's only 1/10 further back to SFR Montoya in second, sharing the second row with SFR Senna, 2/10 further back from him. Adam Lee and SFR Leclerc share the third row with a 10,000th of a second between Adam Lee and SFR Senna, and then it's a further 2/10 back to SFR Leclerc in P6. Man and Cal obviously starting in the top 10, the top softs for Cal, 7th and 8th, and then no times for Rosberg and Tom Gordon, who I believe were unable to set lap times due to track invalidations. So now to the race. We will have this. I will have the 2100 start from now, and we will have a quick old play of this video here while we do this.
We got the symptoms of a cold war. All of our troubles are make believe. We're dying on our own soil. Calling your friends onto the teeth. There's nothing for you, nothing for me, nothing for sale, nothing for free. You wanna take my life and fade away.
Should be that fixed. There we go. That is the intro video. Obviously, it gets a little play at the beginning, just after the countdown, and then after that, obviously. And we are getting started. I don't know if we were meant to start that early. I think we're a minute earlier than that, so I believe that someone's pressed it too early. I'll have to see who that was. It'll be sorted out after stream. Right then. Let's get this show on the road for the French Grand Prix from Paul Ricard circuit. Obviously, you can see the stuff on screen. Let's see what tyres everyone has opted for. Oh, interesting. Okay, obviously top 10 apart from Cal on the mediums, apart from Cal who's on the softs. Only other person that is opted, obviously I know this well from Sempa, that he's opted for the hard stat, obviously as he calls it, the silly strap. Not my words, his words. So he's obviously on the hard compound tyres, and will want to go on to maybe the mediums or the softs, one of the two. It will be mediums to hards for the outside of the top 10. And for everyone except for Cal, who may well want to do a 2-stop potentially, or he may well want to do the 1-stop onto the hard compound tyres as well. Just ignore the fact that he's in the wrong car. He's actually supposed to be in the Alpine, so you'll score points for Alpine if there's enough. 17 drivers tackling this Paul Ricard race. As we head round, obviously this man on screen we are currently looking at will be the one to look out for. Obviously has looked very much imperious through most of this, most of the qualifying session. So it will be interesting to see how he gets on. Let's see, hopefully we get past further than I got last week. Hopefully we don't have any issues. Here we go as we're completing the outlap. Very, very quick outlap, I'd say. It's not the longest track. It's not the shortest track in the calendar either in terms of lap times, but it is not the longest either. Just get a quick old hydration before we get started. There will be a lot of potential shouting. Hopefully the mic quality is not it's fixed itself now a little bit. Let's just say that. As here we go, the cars form up. Constant Ryan very, very eager to get going. He's a mile in front of everyone else in terms of on the track. For 19 viewers of the SFR stream and the SFR family. So let's just see how this goes. As we have the cars starting to form up, obviously Constant Ryan forms up on the front row. Obviously outside is inside line will be on the left hand side, outside line on the outside. Obviously don't know what one you really want more, to be honest, as the cars start to form up. And we will have Motchis line up at the back of the grid, and let's just see how this plays out. Waiting for the cars to form up. I believe everyone is formed up on the grid now, so let's see how this goes. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and a long hold, but it is lights out, and away we go. It's a good start from Constant Ryan. I think that SFR Montoya has got a better start potentially than Vapikut, but it is all stations held at the front. Looks like there's a little bit of contact further back. Cal's been passed by Blind Caveman. He's a little bit off track and he's losing a few positions hand on hand here. Rosberg gets past him as well. It looks like it is still very close at the front there as well. Cal's currently he's got, I think around the outside is Jinx. Jinx is up the inside. I think Tom Gorian is going to try and make a move as well around the outside. There's a little bit of contact there between Jinx and Cal. I think Cal's came off worse out of that. So we're going to go back to the front. I think Senna's going to potentially think about a move. Oh, snaking from side to side. Look at the amount of snaking running down towards the first part of the Mistral straight. Senna trying to go around the outside, which will give him the inside. Side by side with Montoya. Cal has already picked himself up a time penalty. That's very early. In terms of that, it's still side by side between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull. Let's just see if it is Senna will get the line. That will allow Adam Lee up the inside as well, potentially. Nope, not able to quite do so. Let's see what he can do coming into this next corner. Round the outside for Montoya, for Adam Lee on Montoya. Nope, not able to do so. As here we go, I'm going to see if anything further back is happening. Let's see if there is a huge roadblock, I think, behind Cal at this moment in time, or Jinx, one of the two. Jinx has fell a little bit off the back of there. Let's see how that's going. There's a huge battle going on. Sempa obviously on the tyres back here, obviously on the hard compound tyres. Obviously not doing too bad, but we'll have to make sure he gets some heat into those tyres. Looks like it's been a clean getaway for Constant Ryan at the front, who does set the fastest lap to begin with, a 39.209 for the Williams driver. Looking very close at the moment between Adam Lee and Montoya for P4 at this moment in time. The Ferrari driver managing to keep hold, but is a little bit wide from Senna in front. Will Montoya be able to make any advantage of this? Not sure on that one. Looks like it's a lot of the action is maybe out the front or it's out of the back. Vapid Coot is keeping it within 4 tenths and 6 tenths at this moment in time. Constant Ryan not fully getting away as Demon King is the next one to pick a time penalty at the back of the grid. Currently in 17th place. Motchis is up 1 place from the start. And I believe Jordy is up to P12 as well. He's silently made his way up the grid. Let's see if what else is happening for a bit further down. Let's see if Jordy, who's currently on the back of Tom Gordon, can get a little bit closer to actually make a move potentially. I do believe though that it's going to be getting a little bit closer. Not quite. Cal is currently, I think, falling back a little bit. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That was the wrong car. There we go. Tom Gordon using a lot of his ERS. Cal having to defend the inside line, but he's not. He's kept it left the inside line wide open, and Cal has lost position to Tom Gordon in the Alpine car, and he's up the inside. Sempa's next to pick up a time penalty in the Alfa Romeo. Going back to the front of the grid, it is currently the Williams still leading the 2 Aston Martins at this moment in time, but at the moment it is Senna looking closer to Vapid Coot than it is Vapid Coot looking closer to Constant Ryan, but DRS will be enabled next lap, which adds another spanner into the mix. I think the next car to actually go will be, is Cal going to be under threat from Jordy? I believe he will be. Let's see, Vapid Coot, the lap times change hands, it is Senna 33.997, fastest lap on lap 3. DRS will be enabled once we get onto the Mistral straight next time round, so keep an eye. Senna obviously is next one to pick up a time penalty. He is notoriously known for doing that. Does need to try and maybe cut a few of those errors out if he wants to actually. Well, that very nice helmet design, I must say. Is here we go. Is Vapid Coot going to make a move on to Constant Ryan, or is he going to be too far back? DRS and ERS is being used. Constant Ryan goes to the inside to defend, and he goes back across the racing line when he realises he's not close enough. Is he going to be close enough there? I don't think Senna's going to be close enough at this moment in time. Let's go back and see if anyone else is actually going to be able to make an overtake at the moment. It's quite far down for the likes of. What am I doing? That's what I want. Motchis has made a move on on James. These two are going side by side. Sempa trying to make a move on Crystal. Looks like there was a little bit of contact there, but nothing really happened in terms of those two drivers. Let's go on board. It looks like Senna got very close to his teammate up front for second place at this moment in time being. Looks like Vapid's not quite got the same pace to maybe just about match with the likes of Constant Ryan. Constant Ryan looks like he's getting away once again. Constant Ryan just getting the exits where he needs to get them. Let's see if Senna can make it around this final corner and can make a move on his teammate. I would imagine there wouldn't be too much of a fight if Senna went for a move on Vapid Coot. Let's just see that, but there's not a lot of ERS deployment for Senna in comparison to Vapid Coot. It's about 50%. Senna sets fast lap once again, 33.823 for that driver. Let's see if Adam Lee can do anything. No, he's not close enough either. Demon King at the back, looking like at the moment. Let's go and have a look and see what's going on there. I believe that was with DRS. Looks like it's going to be side by side between Motchis and Demon King at the back here. Little bit of contact between those two. I believe that someone's been ran wide. I believe that Motchis is actually trying to give him space and all. Maybe this car will go back through. Demon King's going to try and go down the inside. Not able to do so much. Motchis runs a little bit wide there. Let's see, it's going to be very close up front, so let's see if Demon King's going to go up the inside. He is. There's a little bit of contact there, a little bit of wheel banging. I'm not sure on that one, lads. Let's be 100% honest. While I've been missing that, I think Constant Ryan's been passed by there, and I think Flying Caveman has managed to get past as well. I think Adam Lee has been dropped. I think he's had a spin. Not sure who he's had contact with, but it looks like there has been a spin there for that. James 4429 picks up time penalty. A lot of drivers so far have picked up time penalties so far going on in this race. Adam Lee once again will be a little bit disappointed. James fell all the way to the back. I think he's had his spin at the back there with Demon King. So I think Demon King may well have some answers to be said for. There may be some tickets against him at the end of this, but that will be decided by tickets after the race. As here comes Senna on Constant Ryan. Constant Ryan not looking like he has the same amount of pace. Vapid obviously saying he could have found 2 tenths maybe to get that pole position lap time he could have gotten Q3. But let's see, can Constant Ryan make anything stick? He's currently in an Aston Martin sandwich at this moment in time. Montoya currently looking at from behind at the moment as well. It's going to be close as well with SFR Leclerc and the Red Bull just behind. Is he going to be able to make a move on Flying Caveman? Nope, I do believe not at this moment in time. He was quite close, but not quite close enough. As the front battle, let's go back to Senna in the Aston Martin. Let's see what he can do up against Constant Ryan. I believe Tom Gorin has had a spin further down the field. I believe he's had contact with someone. Not entirely sure who that might be. Staying on board with the front two, it looks like Vapid Koot is starting to pull away a little bit. He's got 7/10 of a gap, but now the DRS is going to pull Constant Ryan back in. But however, he's got to worry about defending potentially from Senna behind. Senna not close enough. Oh, not a lot of ERS deployment for Senna left already. It's another time penalty for Damon King. He's not enjoying this so far. Flying Caveman has been passed by SFR Leclerc as well. Looking like Jinx as well is going to maybe potentially have a look at Rosberg as well, just behind these two. So you need to be careful of that. Flying Caveman currently looking very close as well. It looks like the top three are very close. Adam Lee is once again losing positions. I think that is another spin for the Ferrari driver. Once again, not going well for the Ferrari driver. Didn't have a good race out last time out and is currently not looking good once again. Let's see, going back to Constant Ryan. Let's see how this is going. Senna looks much quicker in this sector than what Constant Ryan does. Constant Ryan looked imperious in qualifying, but currently is struggling a little bit to keep himself up. But look at the gap. You could fit a blanket over all these guys. In the top four at this moment in time, Montoya currently just sitting behind and just sitting there saying, alright, I will wait. As Cal is in the pits on lap 6, obviously we were expecting that to happen for the Mercedes driver, but obviously being the only one who started in the soft compound tyre. Sempa up to P11, so it's been a good start for Sempa. Up one place off of the start for him, as here is Senna currently trying to have another go. It's now 6 seconds of penalties for Senna. You've got to be very careful of those. Those can add up at the end and cost you. But at the moment it's still looking very close. Let's go back to Flying Caveman. It looks like Leclerc has fell off the back of his teammate, really struggling to get any sort of pace at this moment in time. Going to go back to Senna as he's going to maybe try and make a move, but he's not got a lot of ERS deployment to play with. Neither does Constant Ryan on Vapid Koot. Let's see. No, nothing happening there once again. Going to go back to Flying Caveman, who I don't think was able to really do that much. Let's see. I think also we had SFR Jinx, who's coming onto this straight. Not once again, not able to really do a lot. But once again, a lot of the red flashing lights, depending on the fact that the ERS is very low for some drivers. Ooh, that's 9 seconds there for Damon King. That's a lot of time penalties he's going to have at the end of this race, potentially already. Sempa too far back at this moment in time. Let's go back to the battle for the lead up front with SFR Senna. Look at this for a battle. 4 cars within 3/10 of each other. Not 3/10, they're within like half a second. It's probably a little bit better. So here comes Constant Ryan. Vapid Koot probably was having to use a lot of ERS to maybe defend. No, he's not actually. Maybe these guys thinking not worth fighting too much straight away. Is Vapid Koot, is Constant Ryan going to go for a move? Nope, not quite. Oh, Senna tried to go around the outside though and try and was boxed in though by the car behind. Montoya now try to have a go at in the Red Bull. In the first of the 2 Red Bulls, his teammate struggling a little bit further back. But let's just see, Rosberg is not too far behind either on the likes of Leclerc and Caveman. Jinx now picks up a time penalty as well. The first he's picked up this race. Maybe a lot of these might get removed later on. As here comes, is Jinx going to be able to do it? I think Caveman has fell out of DRS. So now this is an opportunity for Rosberg in the Mercedes to make a move. Flying Caveman using his ERS down towards in the first part of the Mistral straight. Not going to be close enough, I do not reckon, to the back of Flying Caveman's Alfa Romeo. Nothing really happening there. Back up here, nothing's really changed up front. It is still status quo. Obviously, Constant Ryan obviously dropped 1 position off the start. Vapid Koot is obviously taking the lead and has managed to keep it so far. So hydrated. Very important at times like this. So we've got Jordy with the time penalty now. Jordy's up to P9. That's a very good start for the Alpine driver. Up from the back of the grid at the moment. Up a lot of positions. So a very good start he's had. All looking like it's very close. Like Montoya at the back of this group can honestly very much just chill out because he doesn't have to worry. Montoya maybe thinking about a move this time around. Nope. Not doing there. As I believe Flying Caveman is now completely out of DRS range, as it looks like it's going to be Rosberg. Nope, that's not the car I want. That's the... Looking at it from behind though, Flying Caveman side by side with Rosberg. Is Jinx going to be very opportunistic here and try and go for a move up the inside of Rosberg? No, he is not going to be able to make that stick. Yes, he is. Oh, it's an hour time penalty. That's a very obvious one. Whoa! There goes Rosberg round. May will have something to say on that one. I'm not sure. Let's go on board with Montoya once again. It's going to be an hour time penalty there, picked up by Sempa, who's currently 6 tenths behind Cristo. Oh, Vapid, there's been a change for the lead up front. Vapid's lost position to Constant Ryan once again. Constant Ryan obviously maybe saving a little bit of ERS deployment to maybe come back at a man and lease its fast lap at 33.2 in the Ferrari, but he is down in 16th at this moment in time. Cal obviously you have to pit very early, is in 15th and is struggling a little bit in amongst this amongst some of the other drivers at this moment in time, but we'll have to see. Obviously he's on mediums, so he will be two stopping. He will be back in the pits again for his final stop onto maybe an hour set of mediums, or if he can make it last an hour set of softs. Yep, Kirby, the lead for the battle is crazy. Just managed to look across at the chat. Sorry, did not manage to look across at that early on. Going back to the back of the train at the moment. Senna looking like he's being a little bit more aggressive at this moment in time. Does not have a lot of ERS deployment. He is determined at this moment in time. But the thing is, if obviously it being his teammate, he's not going to fight this nearly as hard as if it was Constant Ryan and the Williams. Once again, Vapikut gaining in on ground. Nope, nothing happening there. Going to go back to SFR Jinx. Let's see if he can do anything down towards turn 1. Nope. Once again, he's not doing anything either. Going to go back to Sempa. Let's see if Sempa can do anything on the. Obviously, he's going long in this stint, but obviously not able to do anything at the moment. Obviously, Cristo now in the back of Rosberg after that incident has now promoted Jordi up to P8, so from P16 on the grid, he's now made 8 positions. Great start from Jordi in the Alpine. We'll go back to Montoya then though. Let's see what's happening here. Once again, the DRS meaning it's very close. Let's see if Vapid can actually do anything coming into this corner. No, not quite close enough. Very important that you do not run too wide. Is this another time penalty for Cal? Looks like a Jinx and Caveman. It's a little bit wide for Caveman. For Jinx. Jinx will maybe go to the inside. It's going to be a little bit push and shove. Nope. Caveman's up the inside once again on the Alpha Tauri driver. Manages to close the door, and Jinx will have to settle back into P7. Not able to really do anything on the Aston Martin driver, the Alfa Romeo driver, but has run wide. Looks like we've had a little bit of a gap split up there. Looks like Senna's kind of dropped off a little bit. I think Cristo has lost a few positions there, as Mochis is now to P12 there as well. To start Caveman pits. That is very early for Caveman. That's a 2-stop, isn't it, for Caveman? Coming in that early? Must be. Back to the lead battle then. While that's been going on, I think that yep, Caveman and Tom Gorian both in pits. I wonder if that's, it can't be for, is that for damage or is that for, oh, it's hard tyres. Oh, another time penalty for SFR Senna. He's really needing to be careful of those time penalties. He is pushing like mad, but he's picking up a lot of time penalties along the way. The drivers around him will probably be noticing that, as he's now putting himself at miles out of contention. But let's see, we'll go to Sempa in a minute. Let's see how he gets on. I think no move is going to be made there. Let's go back to SFR Sempa in the Aston Martin on the hard tyres versus Rosberg on the mediums. Let's see what can happen here. The one who's supposed to be working alongside me in the commentary box, Rosberg goes to defend the inside line. Whoa, what a run from Sempa. He's going to go round the outside. Is he going to have the grip to make it work? He will have the inside for the next corner. Space left between the two drivers. Very good etiquette between the two drivers. Rosberg does go back through though. Not much ERS there. Obviously ERS on a track like this does deplete very quickly, and once it is gone, it is gone. You do not get it back. However, I think it's still very close. Rosberg, Sempa trying to go round the outside of Rosberg. Oh, very close there. As Leclerc is the first one to pit out of the top runners. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Sempa and Rosberg, but I don't think that would have done too much damage there. Looks like Montoya is maybe going to have a go at SFR Senna. Nope, not able to do so. Leclerc is on the hard tyres. Obviously the hard tyres can be a very durable tyre, but we'll have to see how that one works out. As Leclerc will emerge, I think, in round about P7, P8, round somewhere between that. I think actually he's going to come out round about P10. Montrose has not yet pit. There's obviously a lot of drivers have not yet pit. Ooh, Crystal picks up a 5-second time penalty in the pit lane. That's going to be annoying for his stop because I don't think he will be stopping again. So it's going to be fun to see how that plays out there, as it looks like Senna Vapid Coot is going to try and. You see the snaking down the straights between these drivers. They do not want to give an inch or a mile between these guys. Vapid Coot try to line up, but I think that's not going to happen there, as it looks like Senna's maybe had a terrible, not such a good exit of that corner there, and Montoya obviously with much more ERS deployment and can see the red blinking light of Senna. Is he going to try and go down the inside? Senna defends the inside line, round the outside for SFR. Montoya, can he make it stick? Does get a good run. Is he going to go for a move into this corner? The Red Bull goes for a move on the Aston Martin. What a move there, still side by side. Space being left, but Senna has to take to the outside escape road very slightly. Here we go, Senna does back out of the move, does try it. I think Constant Ryan's going in the pits, and so is SFR Montoya. So those two both go into the pits. I'm not sure why. I think Senna would, as good as the reason I Senna backed out of that one, he would have been in the outside. It'll be hard compound tyres for all these guys, so see, Sempa is the only one who's kind of an anomaly in all this, being on the hard compound tyres. Let's see if Sempa can maybe try and trouble Rosberg again this time, but I think he's a tiny bit too far back this time round to maybe make a move stick. These guys obviously will be potentially not in the battle for the lead, but they can choose to do so if they want to battle positions. They can choose to do so. There are different driving styles when it comes to this sort of thing. When you're up against faster traffic, SFR Senna has dropped out of DRS. At the moment, neither of the two medium runners of the Aston Martins have yet hit. So that's going to be very curious to see how those two face up. I mean, we're all going to have a look at some point. There's another time penalty there for Damon King up top. As here comes Sempa on Rosberg. Is Rosberg going to defend the inside line? Nope, he knows it's coming. Sempa uses a lot of ERS deployment to get past, but he has cleared Rosberg. Can Rosberg do anything in response? At this point, the medium tyres may well starting to go off, but it's a little bit of a loosey-goosey exit from Sempa. Does make a little bit of contact with the Rosberg, but Rosberg's back up the inside. Does manage to get the place back. Can Sempa cut back underneath the Mercedes driver? No, not able to do so. Vapid is in the pits, which means Senna has to go around for another lap, responding to the likes of Constant Ryan, Montoya, Leclerc. At the moment, it's going to be Jinx in the pits as well, very early on. I think a lot of drivers will be going for the hard compound tyres. I would be correct in thinking that. Constant Ryan as well is already on the back of the battle. He needs to clear these drivers very quick. I'm not sure about that one though, Constant Ryan. That's a little bit aggressive. Whoa, Sempa just saying, no, I'm not having that. You can... Oh, there's a little bit more contact there between the two. So, Sempa's sending it back up the inside. Sempa's not having it. This has helped at Montoya. Constant Ryan's going to be fuming in that cockpit with the Aston Martin driver, as he will be looking to make a move, but it was a little bit of a move there. Oh, he's not happy. Oh, that was a stupid mistake. Why did you do that? Why did you do that, Constant Ryan? You didn't need to do that. You could have just been patient for the straight. Now it's going to mean Montoya can come back at him, but Sempa is a very, very ruthless defender. But he has got out the way of Montoya though. So, maybe some bias there, potentially. We will have to see. Constant Ryan, though, will be absolutely fuming. He's lost net race lead now. Sempa's now got Vapid Coot, and he's going to defend from Vapid Coot, though. Vapid Coot is not, he's not going to get the same luxury. Vapid Coot's going to go up the inside, though. He's not having any of it. Rosberg coming under threat now from the likes of Sempa's trying to come back up the inside of Vapid Coot. Oh, it's going to be sent again. Oh, Semp. Don't know what that was going to do there. I'm not sure on that one, to be honest. I think that was a bit too much of a send, to be honest. Senna is in the pits, and Rosberg is in the pits, and I believe that is the last of the runners at the moment. Cal obviously in 12th at this moment in time being. So let's see how this shapes up now. Obviously this battle has been split up just a little bit due to the nature of the pit stops. And what happened? Sempa obviously is now had to pit, and obviously I think he will have to go into set of medium compound tyres. Obviously I did get damage off of what I think was a very much a lick, a stamp and send it sort of move. It didn't quite work for him. Let's just say that much. And at the moment, Montoya has actually got himself into the lead after Constant Ryan had a huge issue trying to be a bit too forceful with Sempa, and Sempa just said, no, I'm not having that, and decided to go for it. SFR Leclerc is struggling against Senna. Is he going to go defensive? Senna's going to do it around the outside. Maybe Leclerc is going to try and use him for a little bit of DRS and ERS around the rest of the lap, and see if he can actually gain it. And let's go back to Vapid Cook in the Aston Martin, going in the battle with the other Red Bull driver of SFR Montoya. It's currently not looking as easy for Red Bull as it was last week. Let's just say that much. Yep, Kirby went Ryan went full grower in there. Yeah, Kirby, I think I could probably say that's probably one of the best ways you could put it. I think he kind of threw away a huge amount of time there just by doing that. He could have been a little bit more patient on the likes of Sempa. Now Sempa's had to pit for a set of mediums, which he will have to take to the end of the race. Let's see if Montoya can defend this corner. I think he's got a good enough exit off of this corner from Vapid Coot. And does use a little bit of reverse Vapid Coot, but decides otherwise against really pushing that all too much. But it's a 1:33.120 from Vapid Coot. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix for the Aston Martin driver. Did look quick last week, but didn't quite have the pace of the two Red Bulls in Singapore last week. But obviously I think both of the Red Bull drivers do like Singapore as a track. But it's crucial. These two do not have penalties, but Senna in third does. Speaking of the second of the two Aston Martins, is he going to be able to do anything here? Nope, he's going to be too far back. Here we go, it's DRS for Vapid Coot on Montoya. Montoya goes right to the left and back to the right. Little bit of snaking going on. Let's see. Nope, not opted by Vapid to go for the move there. There's a penalty there for James. Kind of struggling a little bit at the back. That kind of shows, really. I was kind of thought he could kind of pull a surprise at the back there, but he's not really. He struggled a little bit, but it was to be expected considering the tier he is currently placed in to replace a certain driver, SFR Carbon, who will obviously be back next week. In the current moment in time, we have got halfway through the Grand Prix. Jordy gets another time penalty. I believe that's his first or his second, but he's still in 8th at the moment, so it is looking good for Jordy. He's got a good gap behind him, but he's got a huge gap in front of him at this moment in time. At the moment, the current battle going on is this only one. There's only really one close battle. The other battle going on, I think Mochis may well be wanting to make a move further back as well on Sempa for P12. Obviously, points go down to P15, unlike Tier 2 last year. However, we are going to go back to Vapid Coot, who was close but was not able to make a move. At the moment, there's a huge. He does have a rear guard of Senna currently keeping SFR Leclerc at bay. Just a bit further back, Constant Ryan is gaining back the ground that he lost, and now I think will be driving full on anger mode. So people around him may well have to be a little bit more careful not to end up being collected in his path potentially. Mochis has got past Sempa, but Sempa's not having it. He's going back up the inside of Mochis, who, ignore the McLaren, he is actually in a Aston, the Alpine. He's not actually supposed to be in that car. Okay. Here comes Semp. Let's see what Semp can do coming through this corner. He's always on mediums. He will be the quicker driver now, using his ERS. Mochis does go defensive on that. He does go back to the racing line, but Sempa is still using ERS. He's going to try and go round the outside into the braking zone. Can Sempa pull it off? Oh, there's a little bit of contact. It's cut off there by Mochis, but it's not going to be a lot. So there's a little bit of lag off of the Alpine driver, pseudo McLaren driver at the moment. As here comes Semp, not able to really do a lot, but looks like the gaps have closed up front as McLaren's managed to get himself in. Semp, oh ho ho, nearly lost the back end there. Manages to keep hold of it. Very well held by the other driver there, by the Alfa Romeo driver there. Here comes Vapid, obviously not once again able to make a move. Senna's managed to close back up. It's another 10 penalty for Senna. He's got to be careful of those starting to mount up now, and Leclerc behind will just be looking at this thinking, I don't have to do anything here, I can just get past you very easily. And Cal has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which will be added onto his time at the end of the race. I don't think he's going to get anything out of that, as he will drop back down into P13. Has struggled a little bit since. Obviously he was mugged off a little bit at the start, was Cal. Here comes Vapid. Montoya does do a bit of a very, very aggressive weaving, but not able to do anything as Vapid. Obviously, since Contract Ryan was taken out of the equation, who was the quickest driver, as it's Adam Lee, a 33.080 in the Scuderia Ferrari, down in 14th, who has just got past Demon King, I believe, at the back of the field. Montoya still defending from Vapid Coot. Let's see what can happen here. There is 310s, 410s covering the top three at this moment in time. Leclerc not able to do so, and not able to really be a wingman for his teammate, who's currently leading this race. Got Bud saying there, we're coming Alpha Tauri, yep. Backing the team of SFR Jinx and Tom Gorian, who are currently in 7th and 9th, so doing decently between the two of them at the moment in terms of points. But it was looking good. It's looking like the top two teams currently are looking to battle against each other at this moment in time for the top position in the constructors in the tier 2 section of SFR F1. Here comes Vapid once again, but nothing really doing. Senna not able to do anything there either. SFR Leclerc only just behind, but SFR Senna once again getting much closer to Vapid than what Vapid is to Montoya at the moment. Maybe Vapid Senna's getting impatient on the back of that car and want to be like, yep, get a move on, otherwise I'm going to do it myself. As here comes Montoya's going to go do a bit of aggressive weaving once again, but Vapid is very close this time. He's going to have the inside line. He's not able to make another defensive move. Montoya around the outside. Is this going to allow Senna up the inside as well? No, Montoya cuts that off. As here comes Montoya once again on the back of Vapid Coot. Is Vapid Coot going to be able to defend this? As here comes, he does have more ERS deployment, I believe, than Vapid Coot. Down to, oh, that was very close for Montoya there. Almost got his nose completely cut off by the Aston Martin, but is able to manage to hold it. And I believe that's cost Montoya a little bit of time there. This is another 10 penalty there for Semp in the background. As here comes Senna once again. Montoya is not going to take this lying down. Vapid Coot once again has got to the lead of the race. And let's just see what happens if we can actually get Montoya's going to be able to make a move. I don't believe he is at the moment, but I wonder if Senna's going to actually try and line up a move here. This has allowed Leclerc to gain in on these guys as well. So currently it is Aston Martin Red Bull for the top 4 positions. It's a bit wide there from Senna once again. He's been a little bit clumsy with some of these curves. It's going to really cost him in terms of penalties at the end of this race. So here comes Montoya once again. Sempa at the bat. Sempa currently in his battle with Motrius is not able to make a move stick at this moment in time. As Constant Ryan is now on the back of Flying Caveman as well, the Williams driver, seething under the cockpit from earlier on. From the damage that was done, I think a lot of that damage was self-inflicted by the Williams driver. Alongside, well, maybe didn't need to be quite so aggressive. He's a little bit aggressive over the curves from Vapid Coot. Does mean he does not have a good exit. Senna trying to line up a move as well, using his ERS deployment. Not much of that though. And it's currently, the top 4 are covered. Whoa, Montoya trying to go for a move up the inside of Vapid Coot into the 3rd sector. There goes side by side. Vapid's going to have the better line as we head into the next corner. You have the inside line, but Montoya's trying to go round the outside. Is he going to be run out of road? It's great racing between these two drivers. Here we go. Senna looking in the background as well. Montoya is going to go side by side once again with Vapid Coot. Vapid Coot does not manage to quite get the run. There comes Senna once again. Is Senna going to be able to do anything here? Let's see. Vapid Coot goes into the slipstream of SFR Montoya. Has Montoya left the gap on the inside open? He does move very slightly. Senna not really able to do anything there. This helped Leclerc massively. The 2 Red Bulls currently, it will be probably at the moment, it will be a 1-2, a 1-3 at the moment for Red Bull. With the penalties that Senna is carrying at this moment in time. Constant Ryan as well. is currently looking potentially trying to get a move done on Flying Caveman as well, just behind. We will keep an eye on that and see if anything happens up here at the front four. Rapid Coot having to really go take the sort of weird lines that's been taken here. Constant Ryan as well. Flying Caveman defending the inside. Constant Ryan's going to go round the outside of Flying Caveman. Flying Caveman's not able to really do a lot of the riding of the curves from Constant Ryan. He's up to P5. Can he now climb out of this battle and get himself and make this a top 5 battle for the lead? There's an incident further back. I believe that is Tom Gorian, who has been spun at some point. And that's promoted LRT Mochis and Sempa back into 10th and 11th place. So that's not good for Tom Gorian, but he is still on the points at this moment in time. Rapid Coot once again trying to look at the back of SFR Montoya, but can Montoya try and maybe use a little bit of his ERS deployment to try and pull away from the Aston Martin drivers in second and third behind? And can Leclerc do anything to help out his teammate at the moment, who is currently being hounded by the two Aston Martin drivers? Let's see, Flying Caveman once again is quite close, but it's 3 seconds round about the gap between SFR Leclerc and Constant Ryan at this moment in time. Oh, there's been a little bit of contact, I believe, further back. I don't know who that was. I believe that was Adam Lee. I believe I've seen in the background there. No, it wasn't Adam Lee. I believe that was someone else. SFR Jinx is in the pit, so I believe it was SFR Jinx has had a collision with someone. As James Six our time penalty in the background as well. As here comes Vapid Coot once again. Needs to get a good exit here, but it's not a good exit, I do not believe, for the driver there. Here comes Leclerc once again. Can Leclerc maybe get a jump on at least one of these Aston Martins? He's not close enough. As here comes, obviously, Montoya is able to make one defensive move. That is what is permitted within the rules of the F1 rule book. At the moment, I believe he's just sticking within those limits in terms of what you can do. SFR Senna, potentially, I mean, he's being careful with his teammate. He does not want to do this, but this is not helping Senna at all. He has a lot of time penalties he is carrying, and he needs to be very careful. It looks like Caveman as well is maybe going to try maybe think about a go as well on Constant Ryan. Not able to do so there. Senna once again on the back of his teammate Vapid Coot. Is he maybe going to try and think about a move at some point if Vapid Coot is not going to, if he's not going to be able to make anything stick at this moment in time? But at the moment, Vapid Coot is falling back a little bit once again from Montoya. Montoya, I think, maybe using a little bit more ERS deployment maybe to actually get away. Not really, he's just kind of using natural pace at the moment, but then Vapid Coot just used a little bit of ERS to get himself back within range. We'll see you at the back of this queue. SFR Senna is not actually able to really do anything at this moment in time. We're going to go back to the camera view for a little bit, just so it's a little bit of difference. Looks like there's a battle at the back as well between Adam Lee and I believe that is Christo as well in the Haas. It looks like we've had another spinner at the back. I believe that was James 4429 in the Aston Martin. The Williams. Whoa! There's Senna thinking about a move into that corner there. Jordy has gone for the soft compound tyres, so he will drop down, but he will be much quicker at the end of this race. As here comes Vapid Coot once again. Is he going to try and maybe stick it this time on SFR Montoya? He's got a great run heading into the end of the first part of the Mistral Straight. Nothing there though for the Aston Martin driver on the back of the Red Bull driver. Moment currently, it will be, as I said before, it will be finishing at the moment. The finishing time position you see at the moment will be affected by penalties at the moment, but the only person that's going to be really seriously screwed up by this is probably going to be Senna at this moment in time, who may potentially drop all the way back to about P6, depending on the penalties that Flying Caveman actually has, who's currently in a battle with Constant Ryan, who is closing the gap down, and a little bit of clean air to these guys, with about 5 laps left to go of this French Grand Prix from Paul Ricard. Vapid Coot once again. Not able to do so though. He's probably going to have to use a little bit of reverse to get himself a little bit closer, but it's currently stalemate at this moment in time. Adam Lee has managed to get past Christo at the back, or for 13th and 14th. Cal currently in 15th at the moment, holding on to the final position, as Demon King I think has a lot of penalties behind him, and James currently is massively down as well. As here we go, the top 3 once again go to battle, as I think SFR Jinx and SFR Sempa were battling as well, but I do believe that Jinx actually will see if SFR Sempa can really do anything before we go back to the battle there. I believe he's not going to be close enough to make a move stick, so we're going to go back to SFR, the battle for the lead. Battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. SFR Jinx sets fast lap, 32.439 for the Alpha Tauri driver. Great camera view. Vapid's going to go around the outside, I believe. No, not quite. Not quite for the Aston Martin driver. Very close, but at the moment it is going to be some very good points at the moment for the two Aston Martin drivers. It will depend on how far this drops, how far Senna will drop down after penalties apply. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think he will drop below 6th, but I think he will drop to 6th, I think, at this point in time. Round the outside for Vapid. Nope, Montoya just cuts that line off and says, nope, you are not going there. Wonder what chat thinks of this race so far from the people who are not racing, if what they think of this. Senna runs wide. It's a mistake from Senna. There's a little bit of a chink in the armour from Senna. And let's just see if Leclerc, it's a little bit, there's a little bit of a wiggle there from Leclerc, which means he cannot make the move stick. Bristow, I think, has managed to get back past at the back there, I believe. Back past there, but sticking board with this at this moment in time. But it does look close between Adam Lee and Crystal. Yes, it is. A little bit of action further back. Is Crystal going to be able to do anything to the Ferrari driver? The Ferrari driver runs wide. It's a very wide moment there for the Ferrari driver against the Haas driver, but nothing doing at the moment in time. Watches has just managed to get himself into DRS of Rosberg as well, who's currently on 1 lap older tyres there. Going back into the battle for the front positions. Jordi, a 131.8, new fastest lap of the race from the Alpine driver. Here comes Vapid once again on Montoya. Not close enough though. Vapid is very much looking like he wants to have yet another go. What, round maybe a million between these two. These two have been close all race in terms of the fact that Montoya took the lead when that happened, but this battling, look at Constant Ryan. He's got himself almost within a second. He's bringing Flying Caveman with him as well. So at the moment, it is not looking good for Senna in terms of his overall finishing position. Mochis is currently looking at this as well. Let's see, we'll go on board with Mochis in just a second. See if anything happens there. We'll go on board with Senna. I believe nothing's going to happen there. Nope, nothing has happened there, so we're going to go back to Mochis, see if he actually does anything there. I think SFR Jinx on the soft tyres just behind these guys is going to be pushing as well. Let's see if he can clear the Alpine driver. There's another yellow flag, I believe. That is Sempa, who has lost position. So here comes Mochis. Maybe he's going to have another go, but he's very wide. Here comes Jinx, using his ERS down towards turn 1. Let's see if he can actually make it stick on the Alpine driver. Nope, nothing happening there. We're going to go back to the front at this moment in time. Let's see if Vapid can make another move. No, he cannot. So we're going to go back to Mochis at the moment. Whoa, there's contact. Oh, there's been contact between Mochis and Jinx. There, I've just caught into the back of that. I believe that Jinx has damage off of that. That's unfortunate. Just a cut back on just as that happened. I just caught the very end of that, as Cal looks like he's maybe going to try and make a move at some point soon on the back of Crystal. Crystal looks like he's made a little bit of a mistake in dropping back from Adam Lee. So I think there's been a mistake there. It looks like Cal can maybe gain himself another position there. Let's see if that can actually happen. Can Cal make up position on the back of Crystal coming into the DRS? He's not really been featured that much. So let's have a look. We'll give him a little bit of screen time at this moment in time. It's not a lot really. It's kind of stalemate at the front at this moment in time. Cal's a little bit wide in the with the dirty air. Crystal's not really going to defend the inside line, I do not believe. As here comes Cal in with the mediums against the hard tyres. It's going to be an easy move for Cal up the inside. And I don't think Crystal's going to be able to really do that much. Tries to come back at him around the outside, but I believe that's about it for that for the moment. So we're going to go back to the battle for the lead between SFR Montoya, Vapid Coot 74, SFR Senna, SFR Leclerc, and now Constant Ryan, who's now in the back. He's managed to work his way up with less than a lap to go. This race is absolutely flown by. That's the majesticness of the fact of a very flowing track. As here comes Montoya, just does that jinking move to try and get Vapid out the slipstream, but Vapid just follows. As there's another penalty. Now the only people that do not have penalties are SFR Montoya, Vapid Coot, SFR Leclerc and Constant Ryan at this moment in time, and it looks like Constant Ryan may well be able to put a bit of pressure on Leclerc, as Leclerc looks like he's a little bit off at this moment in time from the back of this field here. Maybe the top 3 at this moment in time. Looks like Adam Lee has decided to pit for soft, so the fast lap is open to anyone as well for this tier now, unlike last year. He will drop back though behind Demon King, but he should be able to easily get past the driver again. Looks like Crystal is going to maybe have another go at Cal into this corner. Let's see if Crystal can make the move on the Mercedes driver. We'll come back to the battle there for the lead in just a bit. Let's see if anything can be made here. Crystal obviously in the dirty air. Let's see if anything happens between the Haas driver and the Mercedes. You have to maybe use a little bit easier ERS deployment to try and get a little bit closer, but it looks like he's not close enough to Cal to make a move, although he is gaining ground massively on the Mercedes driver. What a lunge from the Haas driver. There's a little bit there's a little bit of contact. Cal's obviously forced a little bit wide there, but does get the position back. Now we're going to go back to the front and see after this, see if anything happens here between Crystal and Cal for P13. Cal looking at a few points at this moment in time, a few more than maybe he would have expected. He's down in his grid position, but obviously having started on the started on the softs instead of the mediums like everyone else, he was obviously going to be a little bit compromised. But let's go back to Vapid Coot, the battle for the race lead. We'll keep an eye on that battle between Cal and Crystal as well, and let's just see what happens there in that one in a little bit. As here comes Vapid Coot, who's currently he's up on a personal best time at this moment in time in the race. We're on the final lap actually, so this is the final lap of the Grand Prix. Montoya versus Vapid Coot versus SFR Senna. Let's see who wins this battle from the rear, looking back from the rear wing of the Red Bull. It looks like it is going to be the Red Bull taking the race victory. SFR Montoya, who I believe won at round 1 as well, is going to make it back-to-back victories, unless Vapid Coot has something to say about it. Not able to do so. That's it. I believe that it's going to be victory for SFR Montoya in the Red Bull, and it's going to be Vapid Coot to take second place. SFR Senna will finish P3 on track, but he's going to drop all the way back, I believe, to P6. He does. And that is a battle and a half. We're going to go back to this battle though, the final DRS straight that we will have. Cal versus Crystal between the Mercedes and the Haas. Let's see who comes out on top. Let's see what happens between these two. Cal does run a little bit wide, but does get a decent run as we head out there. Coming into the final sector. Can Crystal make a move on Cal? Cal is low on ERS deployment. So is Crystal though. Let's see what happens. It looks like the rest of the drivers, looks like Rosberg, Jordy, Jinx have crossed the line in P7, P8 and P9. Cal runs a little bit wide. So does Crystal though. Not able to really do anything with that there. In the background obviously there as well we have Adam Lee, who's catching up massively. It looks like it's going to be Cal to take P13. Was very close, almost a send from Crystal and the Haas. Not able to do so as we come across the line. It's going to be P13 and P14. I believe Crystal's going to get P. No, he did not. It's going to be Vapid. Looks like it's going to be Adam Lee, who will finish in P16. Obviously doesn't want that final point for some reason or another. And that is that. What a race. What a race. And I know who's going to get driver. It's probably going to be Jordy, considering he started at the back of the grid. It was indeed. But who is my driver of the day for that? Oh, I think I've got to give it to SFR Montoya, because he's managed to hold on to, he held on for so long, had to battle against Vapid Coot for certain lengths of time, a lot of that, but well done. Very good job there from the Red Bull driver. It is a 1-3 for Red Bull, with Vapid Coot separating the two, and P2 for the Aston Martin team. So, it is SFR Montoya who takes victory for the Red Bull team, with Vapid Coot taking the second spot and Leclerc with the final spot on the podium. Constant Ryan takes P4. What could have been potentially for Constant Ryan if he didn't have that issue with traffic. Flying Caveman will finish P5. Good job for him. SFR Senna, obviously those time penalties, drops down to P6 at 15 seconds in the end. SFR Rosberg finishes in P7. Low race really for him. Same with Jordy really, I'd say. LRT Mochis from the grid as well. Good drive from him. SFR finished P10. I don't think he will be happy with certain things that happened in that race though. His teammate Tom Gorin and PL and the other Alpha Tauri. SFR Semper P12. A few silly mistakes booster from Sempa, but he will still take some points at the race. Cal, P13, obviously dropped positions from his grid, but did still make a good, still had a decent race considering he had to stop. Crystal, P14, Adam Lee, P15, Demon King, and then it was James who was the last. I believe everyone made it to the end of the race. Congratulations to all the drivers, and that was a hell of a race. So we're going to get all 3 of the drivers into the lobby for the actual result. I need to find Vapid Coot. I need to find Claire. Nope. Right, so let's go and get a car sorted out before we get this all started. Just wait more. Right. Hello everyone. Well, welcome to the podium. For all the podium finishers. We will start with third place, which was SFR Leclerc. How did that race go for you, and did you feel that race could have gone any better?
It could have gone better, and it could have gone worse. I said last week that France isn't exactly a great track for me. I'm sure Montoya will tell you I said I'm aiming for top 5. So managed to get top 5 and even better, add a podium to that to continue this mega form Red Bull are on in Tier 2.
Yep. As I say though, another double podium finish for you two Red Bulls, obviously increasing your lead in the overall standings, but the Tier 2 standings with Aston Martin. It's looking like a tasty battle between the two teams at the moment.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Carbon wasn't here because I feel like Red Bull, Williams, and Aston Martin are the teams to beat in Tier 2. I'm sure Vapid will agree, Montoya will agree, Senna will agree that the battle when the teams are at their strongest are incredible to watch. You saw it there, just between myself, Montoya, Vapid, Senna, and then Constant Ryan towards the end. Throw Carbon into that mix as well. It could have gone anywhere today.
Yeah, that could have gone. I think that could have gone either way. That race one could have gone either way. And finally, to finish off, obviously next week we have Hungary. How are you feeling for that track, and is that a good track for you?
I don't mind it. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it. It's not the worst track. It's not one I would go out of my way to race, but I'm hoping to put on a good performance for the viewers, as it'll be my last race before my surgery. So,
yep, which we wish you all the best of luck with, and hopefully everything goes all right for you on that one.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you on your third place.
Thank you
on to second place. It is Vapikut74. The first time I've actually done an interview with you in this season. Obviously, you were a quick driver last season in Tier 1 with some pace showed towards the back of the season. How did the race go for you, and do you reckon that you maybe could have snuck the race win if you'd had maybe a little bit more? Because obviously you took the race lead a couple of times. Do you reckon that second place was on the cards there, or do you reckon you could have maybe got the first place?
Thanks for having me. Congrats to the two Red Bulls. They did put up a really good fight. I did think the one was on the cards, but I knew if I had used like my ERS a lap earlier, then Montoya could have easily just blast past me on the last lap. So that's why I tried to stay behind them until that very last lap, but he just managed to hold on by the skin of his teeth. So overall I'm happy with the improvements I've made from last season. I feel like I'm finally getting to grips with the game, and my team owner Wills has been great help when it comes to the setups as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to making these Red Bull boys work a lot more harder for it. So can't wait.
So obviously, as I mentioned to Leclerc, you're obviously in the hunt for the Tier 2 constructors with Red Bull. You reckon you have any sort of secrets that you've got up your sleeve to actually try and beat the two Red Bulls for the remainder of the season?
Well, I suppose if me and Cam get a couple good finishes, then we can easily close the gap. But we need to start kind of winning the races, and Cam to kind of be there to support as well. Obviously he is quick as well, and he can very much finished above me as well. But today Cam knew that he just had to stay behind me because he had 12 seconds time penalty, so there was no point even trying to fight that. But no, I feel if we can win more races, we can definitely close that gap as possible. So yeah, more to play for.
Yep. All right, and finally, same question I asked to Leclerc. Hungary, track you like, track you don't like? How do you reckon you'll get on?
I'm looking forward to Hungary. It's one of my favourites. It's always been one of my favourites in league racing. So I've never won the fine, but I've got God knows how much podium. So hopefully I can go one better next week and take that spot. So we'll wait and see. Like I say, just got to keep the head down, keep plugging away at the game, and hopefully we'll get there. So yeah.
All right, fair enough. Congratulations on your second place,
Thank you.
and we look forward to seeing if you can actually get yourself on the top step of the podium next week in Hungary.
Thank you.
And finally, we come to the winner of the race, who obviously I would suspect would probably be sweating after that race, considering you spent most of that race defending. It is SFR Montoya. How are we feeling after that race?
I don't think sweating's the word. I feel like I'm I was about to swear. Don't need to. Let's not swear. Keep repeating.
Well done.
I feel like I'm a waterfall right now. Like my back is just absolutely drenched. I'm pretty sure there's probably a stain on it because I'm wearing a white t-shirt as well. So it's not the best of mixes. So Vapid really had to do me dirty with keeping me on my toes and sweating like an absolute Jehovah. But I mean, at the start of the race, I really didn't expect much coming into it. I knew my pace wasn't the best, so my goal was to just stay with the top three. And because of how much they were battling, I started saving my ERS and kept an eye on my tires, and decided to go for the undercut, which thankfully worked. And I was able to get the lead because Constant Ryan made slight contact with a slower car. I don't remember who it was, but unfortunately that took him out of the race. And then for like the last 15 laps, Vapid was just all over my ass, and I was not enjoying it one bit. Clearly he doesn't know the COVID-19 rules with at least 2 meters away. He was just absolutely just all over me. So I knew if he wasn't gonna try and make the move and pull away, he was gonna save it for like the last few laps. So I tried my best to save ERS. Of course, France is a difficult one to save ERS, but came to the final lap and I was able to defend it on the main straight, and I was like, "Ha, got you! You can't do anything now." And then last corner came, and all of a sudden he's down my inside. I'm like, "What the hell is this? How's he done that then?" And thankfully, he didn't get the best of exits. So first line P1, may have screamed very loudly, and I might have injured my throat a bit with the victory, but it's a risk it's worth taking.
Obviously, you've run two races in a row now, and obviously this is helping Red Bull to actually pull a bigger gap on Aston Martin in the Tier 2 standings, constructors. You reckon you've got this sort of same pace in you for next week for Hungary, or do you reckon that Aston Martin are going to come back stronger and maybe potentially be rivals for you next week as well as maybe even Williams?
Honestly, because of how I remember last season's Hungary, I generally think Vapid could possibly take this one, because my pace around Hungary is not the best. And heck, even if I am faster than me, I'll most likely bin it around Hungary because that's what I do best. But of course, me and Jamie are gonna try our best to put the Astons under some pressure, and if they take the victory, we won't give it that easy, I guess.
Yeah, sorry to jump in, but practice has already started for Hungary from the Red Bull side.
Can confirm. We're already practicing for Brazil.
Yes, that's round 23.
Fair enough. Anyways, we were going to end that here. Thank you very much to the drivers on the podium. Congrats to SFR Montoya on the victory, Vapid in second place, and SFR Leclerc in P3. Coming up for you tomorrow, we have Tier 3 from the F1 side. Then on Wednesday, we will have F2. Obviously being covered by F1 Tier 3 will be covered by Carbon and Leclerc. and then we will also have tier, we'll also have F2, which will be covered by Montoya here, and
Hello.
S4 Jinx. So you got somewhere to look forward to, and it's an off week for ACC, and that I believe it's an off week for ACC, and it's next week for that. So
Yeah, off week for ACC.
Until then, from all of us here, for me at ACC, ACC F1, that is the end of that, and let's just say goodbye. If everyone wants to say goodbyes, and we will end the stream. All right.
Thank you everyone for watching. I'm not used to this. I only do it on a Monday night when I'm actually commentating. But yeah, cheers for watching. Every single person in Tier 2 should be proud tonight. That was an absolutely awesome race. And no DNFs, so extremely well done there as well.
Yep. And on that note, we will end the stream, and we will see you for coverage of the Tier 3 race tomorrow with SFR Carbon and SFR Leclerc.
Bye.
We got the symptoms of a cold war. All of our troubles and make believe. We're dying on our own soil. Calling your friends up to the teeth. There's nothing for you, nothing for me. Nothing for sale, nothing for free. You wanna take my life and fade away. You're gonna take me away tonight. Our return is a